Hey and howdy everyone! Welcome back to my channel. It's Jeannie with Paper Pixie Ink, and today we are moving on to tutorial number 6. This tutorial is going to cover how I put all of my base pages together with all of the components that we've created in the previous tutorials, as well as adding them to your base album, so attaching them to your binding on your spine. So let's dive in. So let's start gluing these together. So we can't do that one, but we can do this one, so, or at least part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue on my flap. And I am just going to glue it along the seam, so along the outer edge, making sure that I try and line things up as best as I can. Press down, burnish it a bit. So this will be our flap, and then this is going to go on here like this, and this flips up. So we can't really attach this right now because we need our pattern paper there first. So I'm just going to clip this onto my little flap. There's my flap. So for this page we're going to glue, so this is going to be our attached to our spine. So this is just going to get attached like this. And again, I'm going to try and line everything up as best as I can. And I'm going to burnish it down. So this is going to be our flap that opens this way. And then this will go on here, you know, roughly like this. But we can't attach it yet, again, like we couldn't the other one. So I'm just going to clip it onto here. So this is our next set. So we have our pocket, which is going to go on here. So let's put glue on all our tabs. So the pocket is going to be facing out. This is the spine, so it goes on this side. Again, we're just going to try and line everything up as best we can. Push it down. And then burnish the edges so we know that we've gotten a really good hold with the glue. And then this is going to be a tab, or a flap rather, so it's going to go this way. So let's put some glue. And then this is going to go along this edge. And again, we're going to try and line it up as best we can. And then burnish it down. So this will open like this. This is a pocket, and then this is going to go on here. But like our other ones, we can't put this on until we have pattern paper here. So I'm just going to clip this on like that. So this is our next page, and we are just going to glue down these. If you get any glue on that, make sure that you wipe it off. So this is just going to go right along the edge, and you're going to try and again line everything up to the best of your abilities. Press it down. And then I always like to burnish because I always like to make sure that I get that glue well adhered. And then this is going to go along this edge. And this one we need to make sure that we really do get right on the edge, because you need to make sure that this clears it. So right on the edge. Make sure everything is lined up. And then burnish it down. So this will open like this, and this will close like this, and we will put magnets on this to hold this closed. So when we flip this over, this is going to go on here like this, and we're going to try and center it as best we can. Again, if you prefer to measure so that you know that it is exactly center, you can go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to turn this around so I can get better eyes on it, and I am going to press this down. And you want it aligned at the top, but you also want it centered this way. And then I'm going to press this down. So this flap opens this way. And then this is going to go down at the bottom. So this goes right here just like that. So let's go ahead and glue that down. Press it down and burnish it. So this will go like this, and this will have a magnet on it. And then the next pieces that we had were these. Now on the other one I had it so that it flipped this way and this flipped up. I actually think I'm going to do it opposite this time, so that it flips up and then flips this way. I just think that it'll be easier. So I am going to apply glue to this and press it down, and then I'll put the other one on top of it. Really, it doesn't matter. You can do it whichever way you prefer. I'm going to flip this back around again. And this is the exact same width. So just make sure that you line it up as best you can. And then make sure it's pressed down and burnished. And then this is just going to go on top. So I'm going to apply glue here. Make sure I didn't get any on the edge. And then I'm just going to line it up and press it down. And burnish. So this will open this way and this opens this way. So a little bit different than the other one. Same feature though. So there's that. I'm going to add some magnets here in a little bit. So this is our next page. So to create this is the back of it. So this we're just going to glue on. So this is going to go right along the right edge. And again, you're going to try and line everything up to the best of your ability. And press it down. So this is just like this, and we'll put a magnet on here so that this, oops, so that this will stay closed. So now we just have the two middle flaps, and these ones, again, we're kind of opposite to what we're used to, in that these open into the center, so these have to be centered on the page. So in order to do this, I'm going to put this one on first. And now we know this has to be in the center. So what I'm going to do is I am going to line up my corners on the left. And then, whoops, press this down. And then I'm going to do my other one. So this one we can just line up with this. I'm going to burnish. So these just open like this. And to hold these closed, we're going to apply these. Now, I am going to actually measure the center because I have to do one on either side, and I want to make sure that they're, you know, lined up. So I am going to find the center of this, which is looking like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to find the center. And then these, in this book, I actually clipped the corners of them with one of my punches. So I'm going to do that same thing. And I'm going to do that before I glue them in, just because these are smaller, it'll be a lot easier to maneuver. So the last time I used the deco, but I think this time I'm going to use the scallop. Just like that. And just like that. So the next thing that I'm going to do, because this is going to attach to here, so I'm going to find the center of this. And mark it so that when I go to put this on, I can line those two marks up. And then I know that they're going to be as even as I can make them. So let's go ahead and glue these down. So I'm going to put some glue on this tab. Flip it over, and I want the score line to be right on the edge there, and I'm going to line up my two pencil marks so that just goes just like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Alright, so this opens and these open, and we'll put a bunch of magnets on these in a little bit. So now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to hold these because I don't want them to get bent or anything. So this one we had the 2 pockets and then the 2 flaps. So I'm going to glue my big pocket down first. Okay, so this is going to be our spine. So this goes on this side. And again, we're going to try and line everything up as best we can. And then we're going to burnish it down. And again, always make sure that you get them well adhered. I have a little bit of glue seepage here, so I'm just going to make sure that it's not going to glue anything down on me. And then I'm going to put my other pocket on. We're going to line this one up along that same edge. So this will be your spine. And I'm going to just burnish everything down really well. And so we have one pocket here, and we have another pocket here, and then we have this flap that will flip down. And that is lined up here, and it should be the same size as, or the same width as your pocket was. So that should all align. And then this is your top flap. And this attaches up here. And again, this is the same width as your pocket, so all of this should all align. And then I'm going to burnish it down. So flap, flap, pocket, and pocket. And this will have a magnet on it as well. Then we have this page, and this one's pretty simplistic. So I'm going to have one that is going to go along the top, and again I'm going to eyeball center, but you can measure if it makes you feel better. I know some people do and some people don't. It's really, you know, whatever your preference is. And I'm going to eyeball mine. So this is the top of your page. This is the spine, and we're just going to press that down. This is going to go right on here. So I'm going to add I'm just going to put it right along the bottom edge of that flap we just added, and it is the same width as the one we just added, so everything should be in alignment. I'm just going to burnish it down. So this will flip like this, and then this is going to go on top. And so this will be attached here. And again, it's the same width. So it's just going to go just like that. And we, again, will use some magnets on this in a little bit to help keep everything closed. I use a lot of magnets in my albums. I do use other closures as well, but I love my magnets because they're so quick and easy to set up, and they have a lot of uses. They work really, really well. So we're just going to align this at the top, press it down so we can be sure that it is really well stuck. And this will go like this, and this will go like this. And again, we will use some magnets on this. So when we turn this over, this was actually on the bottom. So this was a flap on the bottom like that, and then this was at the top of this flap, so just like this. And this one also had the punched corners, so these two corners were punched. I did use the deco punch, but I'm going to use my scallop one, just like I did on the other page. So let's go ahead and glue these down. So again, this is going to go at the bottom of the page, and I am just eyeballing it. Again, as always, you can measure to your heart's content. I know I have some friends who cringe every time they see me eyeball things. So there's that. And then this one is just going to go right on top of this. So this just goes right on here. And again, I'm just going to line everything up because this is the same width as this one was. Line everything up, make sure that it's aligned, and then I'm just going to press it all down. So, and again, we will add magnets to this to hold this closed. So we're almost there on getting our pages built. And really designing your pages is the hard part. It's the part that I find takes the longest in the long run. So this is the page that had the kind of fun closure that we're going to have to, come up with a different creative closure for this. So these just open to the left and right. So we're going to put glue on our little tabs. We're going to align one to the left side. So one aligned to the left side, and then we're going to have the other one aligned to the right side. So we will have a different closure for this. I'm not sure what we'll use. Like I said, maybe we'll just use a journaling card and some magnets. Or maybe, we can use some kind of swing tab, or I don't know, but we'll figure that out. So this next page, so this is our pocket with our waterfall already attached. So we are going to go ahead and put glue. So this is going to be aligned with the bottom of our page. And this is kind of heavy, so let's make sure that we have a nice good seal with the glue. And then we're going to go ahead and attach this. So I'm going to put some glue on this tab. And then I'm going to press it down. And hopefully it is relatively centered. So it's just going to go just like that. And again, we're going to have a magnet on this so that, you know, it will help hold this closed, because there is quite a bit of, you know, bulk to this, and there will be more once we add our pattern paper or, you know, our coordinating cardstock or whatever it is that we decide to do. So those are all of our pages put together. So we just have to start adding everything into our book, and then we can start decorating the pages. You could do all of the page decoration first and then add these in later. It doesn't really matter. I just find that these pages are easier to attach before they have all of the bulk on them. So you can do it either way. It's really whatever you're most comfortable with. So I am going to start by doing my front. And so we have these two flaps that are going to go in, you know, roughly like this. These I'm going to put on after because I'm going to put pattern paper on this. So let's go ahead and attach our flaps. And I'm going to use the edge of the first one that I put down as my guide for how to put my second one down, so that I know that they're perfectly lined up. And then I'm just going to burnish it down, make sure that I don't have any seepage that's going to cause them. Alright, so these I'm just going to clip on for now so that I don't, I'm just going to do it this way. I just don't want to lose track of those. And actually, maybe do it more in the middle. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that for our back as well, because our back, if you recall, is exactly the same as our front. And just like our front, I am just going to clip these onto here. Okay, so the next part that we're going to do is we are going to glue our pages on. So I'm going to put glue along either side my binding, and then I'm going to open this up and put this in. So the reason we have this tab on here is so that when we glue these on, you still have the full size. And I'm going to try and get these as close to the spine as I can get, and as straight as I can get. And this is one of the reasons why I find it easier to attach the pages now rather than later, because once you get all your pages done and decorated and whatnot, you can have a lot of extra bulk on here. And so for me, I find it a lot easier to just do this first. And a lot of people use double-sided adhesive and liquid adhesive, and in a lot of cases I actually recommend it. It can be a lot easier, A, to get it stuck and started, and B, it will help hold it better. So if you were going to add some double-sided adhesive as well as your liquid adhesive, you would just put your double-sided adhesive on here like this, and I think I'll do it for all of my pages. So I'm just going to burnish these down real quick. Yeah, I kind of wish I had done that with this one. It's okay. It'll be fine. It has lots of glue. So I am going to pull my double-sided adhesive off. And then I'm going to add a little bit of liquid. Not as much as I did on the first one, because the first one didn't have the double-sided adhesive. But I'm going to add some. Then I'm going to take my next page and I am going to attach it. And this one will grab much more quickly and easily because it has the double-sided adhesive on it. So there we have all of our pages into our book. So there's still some things that we can't attach. We need to put some magnets in, but there is the base of the album completed. So that is the end of tutorial number 6. Up next is going to be starting actually decorating the album. So we are going to cut and glue on our pattern paper for the inside front cover as well as the front of the first page. So stay tuned for that. As always, if you're interested in seeing more, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. Thanks everyone.